a Sally Lightfoot crab. One of thousands of shore crabs just waiting for their moment. Every day they gather on the tropical shores of Brazil, waiting for the tide to go out. Which exposes their feeding grounds. Seaweed-covered rocks 100 meters from the shore. Getting there is a race against the tide. They leap from rock to rock. These crabs seem to be afraid of the water. And for good reason. A moray eel. The chain moray is a specialist crab hunter. Its blunt teeth can easily grip and crush a crab's shell. It's the crab's deadliest enemy. But the crab's feeding grounds are still a long way off. They must press on. Halfway. But their enemy has other ideas. Crossing the land. To reset the ambush. To feed, the crabs must keep going. But nowhere is safe. An octopus, also a crab killer. The crabs make a dash for it. Made it. Risking life and limb to graze on these seaweed pastures. But in 2 hours' time, when the tide starts to turn, they will have to run the gauntlet all over again. It's July in the deserts of Nevada in the western United States. The hottest time of the year. Bands of wild horses, Mustang, are converging on one of the last remaining waterholes around. Now, water not only offers them the chance to drink, it can also bring power. If a stallion can control access to water, he will have secured mating rights to the entire herd. So stallions try to dominate these pools, fighting off rivals who venture too close. A stranger. He's travelled 15 kilometres to be here, because the pools where he's come from have already dried up. With him come his females. If he can't provide them with water, they will leave him for the white stallion, who already dominates this pool. So he will have to fight. Everything to lose. A broken leg or a shattered jaw would mean a slow and painful death. A missed kick. And it's all over. The new arrival has won. And his prize is more than just a chance to drink. He has provided for his herd and in the process stolen his rival's females. The white stallion's rule is over. These males are the troop leaders. They hold all the power here. Joining them is every young male's ambition. To be accepted into this elite is the path to privilege. But it's a dangerous journey. The youngster decides to follow. At first, he has enough sense to keep his distance. These males are twice his size. The low-ranking chimps retreat before the troop leaders arrive at the waterhole. Dominant males have a highly stressful life as they constantly squabble to protect their position. The youngster can't take his eyes off them. This is his chance to get himself noticed. If he can impress even one of the big males with a show of strength, he might just be accepted into their ranks. His best attempt at a macho display has certainly caught their attention. But they are not impressed. In fact, this drumming means they're getting rather angry. And they attack. The youngster is not quick enough. He gets a short, sharp lesson about how hard it can be to break into this close-knit gang. He's lucky to escape with just an injured hand. For the moment, he's neither big enough nor strong enough to be taken seriously by the troop leaders. Without status, he will never enjoy the privileges of the best food or the attention of females. Losing its fear of humans has enabled one animal to spread into cities everywhere and in huge numbers. Pigeons are by far the most successful urban bird. Here in Albi in the south of France, the pigeons come to the river to bathe. They need to preen their flight feathers, clean off the city dust, and cool themselves down. In wait. A predator that has taken advantage of the very thing that has led to the pigeon's success. Their lack of fear. As the pigeons bathe, oil from their plumage flows downstream and is detected. Monstrous Wells catfish. Introduced here just 40 years ago, they have proliferated, virtually exterminated the local fish stocks, and they've now developed a taste for pigeon. Their eyesight is poor, so they use their barbels to sense the movements of their victims. This is a radical new hunting strategy for what is normally a bottom-dwelling fish. After 1,000 years of living in this city, pigeons are now having to learn to avoid a fish. A lone Grevy's zebra. He weighs close to half a ton and could go for 3 days without drinking. Like the macaques, his forebears were refugees from the advancing Sahara. The land is scrubby and dry. But this stallion has claimed it as his own. He's been waiting months for visitors. Female visitors. If they like his territory, they might stay a while. It's his first chance to mate for a very long time. Hardly a success. Perhaps his visitors are looking for a more impressive partner. There's another setback. The females were being followed, a posse of young males, everyone a rival. It's time to separate the men from the boys. One by one, the stallion sees them off. The females had ringside seats, and his prowess has not gone unnoted. Machismo gives way to tenderness. Around here, you have to take every opportunity, be it for food, for water, or for mates. female grevies are a fickle bunch. The herd have decided to move on. All of them. The stallion may never see them again, but there's a chance that one is now carrying his foal. In a far corner of Southeast Asia lies the Coral Triangle. A cluster of the richest coral reefs in the world. Undersea cities crammed full of life. As in any crowded metropolis, there is fierce rivalry for space, for food, and for a partner. But the reef is also a place full of opportunity. It specializes in hunting crabs. But a large crab is a dangerous quarry. It has powerful claws. The cuttlefish, however, has a remarkable talent. Its skin contains millions of pigment cells with which it can create ever-changing colors and patterns. And that, apparently, hypnotizes the crab. A cuttlefish may be clever, but a shark is bigger. And it eats cuttlefish. Time to disappear. Back to the hunt. A new target, but the same mesmerizing technique. For those that manage to establish themselves in these bustling undersea cities, there can be great rewards. This is a poison dart frog. Males raise their young in a very special way. A father will place each one of his tadpoles in its own tiny pool of water. This is one. Nice and safe. He might have up to 5 other tadpoles. But he needs to remember where he put each one of them. This one isn't doing so well. Its tiny puddle has all but dried out. The tadpole will die unless its father can find a better place for it. If dads are good for one thing, it's piggyback rides. Fathers are no bigger than a human thumbnail, but this enables them to get to places that others can't. This could be perfect. The only problem is that there's no food here. Fathers need help. Somewhere in this forest is Mum. A female can do something a male cannot. But first, Dad must lead his partner to their hungry tadpole. And Mother deals with the problem. She lays a single, unfertilized egg. And her tadpole gets a much-needed meal. For the next 6 weeks, parents continue their rounds, an extraordinary test of teamwork and memory. Sailfish, 3 meters long, are closing in on prey. They will only use just enough energy to make their kill, never wasting a fin stroke. Nearly 100 sailfish have surrounded a single school of baitfish. It's very rare to see so many of these hunters in one place. To herd their prey, the predators raise their huge dorsal fins. A mistimed strike by one sailfish could fatally damage another, but each continually changes its colour from blue to striped to black. That warns its companions of its intentions and also confuses the prey. As the shoal is driven nearer the surface, it comes within the range of the seabirds. Out here in the open ocean, there is nowhere for the baitfish to hide. Sailfish live a high-octane life. To survive, they must find prey daily. So their entire existence will be spent on the move. And many animals here choose the simplest option of all, staying hidden all day and only venturing out in the cool of the night. As darkness falls, animals appear from seemingly nowhere. And among them, inevitably, are hunters. One of the most voracious nocturnal predators is also one of the hardest to see. This mysterious creature hardly ever appears on the surface of the dunes. But there are signs on the sand that can give it away. It lives only here, where the sand grains are so perfectly dry and polished that they flow almost like water. It's no bigger than a ping pong ball. A golden mole. It's totally blind. But there's nothing to see underground anyway. Instead, it has superb hearing. Its entire head acts as an amplifier that picks up vibrations through the sand. So, to locate prey on the surface of the dune, it has, paradoxically, to thrust its face into the dune. Termites. Not easy to catch when you're blind. Far better to go into stealth mode. Once below the sand, it can detect the slightest movement, allowing it to strike with pinpoint accuracy. Well, most of the time. It can travel a kilometre a night in search of its dinner. And right now, it has just detected its main course. Little wonder it's sometimes called the shark of the dunes. Lizards, for the most part, are not known for being caring parents, but there are exceptions. It's spring in the woodlands of North America. An American robin is nesting, warming her eggs with the heat generated by her own body. And below, on the forest floor, a five-lined skink is warming her cold-blooded body by basking in the sunshine, so that she can do the same thing. She has a nest below the log. It can get quite chilly in these woodlands, and she warms her eggs by transferring to them the heat that she's collected from the sun. She takes just as much care of her eggs as the robin does. A month later, and her eggs are hatching. the robin's eggs have hatched too. Her nestlings are helpless and need constant feeding. The young skinks, however, are already capable of finding food for themselves. Within a day or so, they've left their mother and are independently exploring the woodland floor for themselves. Back in the Australian rainforest, this weaver ant fortress sits at the heart of a rich territory. Hunting parties go out to gather food to fuel their growing numbers. Some canopy caterpillars are not killed, but farmed by the ants. They exude a sugary secretion that the ants collect. In return, the ants mount a guard to protect the caterpillar wherever it goes. But a successful colony inevitably attracts enemies. This jumping spider's body shape resembles that of an ant. A disguise good enough to fool these nursery guards. It's after one of the colony's most valuable assets, the grubs. In a colony numbering tens of thousands, a single grub is an insignificant loss. But the rich territory of a successful colony draws more destructive enemies. Raiders from a neighbouring weaver ant colony looking to expand their own empire. Invaders are quickly spotted. The guard releases pheromones to alert the rest of the colony. They stream out of the nest to defend their home. If the home defences fail, the colony will be wiped out. Some of the defenders deploy their most potent weapon. They squirt formic acid. The stinging liquid halts the invaders in their tracks. And now the home guard can go on the offensive. Home and territory are secure once again. A colony may lose many workers in defence of its home, but their sacrifice helps safeguard the next generation. It's now midsummer, and the sun is shining at full strength. The increasing warmth is the cue for an Atlantic lobster to start on a long journey. She spent the winter 250 meters down, far beyond the reach of the storms. But it was cold down there, and now she needs to find warmer water, so she's marching towards the shallows. They, however, are 150 kilometers away. After a month of walking, she finally arrives at her favourite sandbank. But she's not the first here. Dozens of other lobsters have already dug themselves homes in the sand, and they don't intend to surrender them to newcomers. Size counts for everything in these battles. The new arrival is in urgent need of a pit, and since she weighs a hefty 7 kilos, she stands a good chance of getting one. She's won. These battles continue for the next 2 months, and they're crucial, for the females must have both shelter and warm water if they're to raise their young. For the last 7 months, each of these females has been carrying around about 20,000 fertilized eggs. But their task is approaching its end. The warmth of the shallows is speeding the eggs' development. 2 more months, and the eggs are ready to hatch. At first, they're not very good at swimming. But within a few minutes, the babies are able to set off in a purposeful way.
This is one of them. From the purposeful way in which he's walking, it's clear that the search for prey has started. The other members of the team are not far away. They've been steadily following the monkeys for about 20 minutes, looking for an opportunity. The technique they'll almost certainly use is that one of them will be driving the colobus ahead of him. Then there will be others that go up on either side who are the blockers, who won't make any attempt to catch the monkeys. And then there are chasers who go and grab at the monkey if they can. And finally, there's one male who will go up ahead and ambush it, so bringing the whole trap close. The monkeys are now getting alarmed. A driver's going up to prevent the group from settling and to drive them towards an area where they're more easily trapped. That's one of the blockers that's now quietly come ahead of the colobus. He's halfway up the tree now. He's deliberately making himself conspicuous. Now it looks as though they're all in position. The driver's gone up, the blockers have gone up, and now the one who's going to make the ambush and close the ring, he's gone up too. The colobus will be very lucky if they escape now. They've got one. hunters are tearing it apart. Everyone, the hunters in the trees and the spectators on the ground, are screaming with excitement. And now the kill is brought down so that the females and others can share it. And there's the reward for that long chase. The divided body of a colobus monkey. These blood-stained faces may well horrify us, but we might also see in them the face of our long-distant hunting ancestors. And if we are appalled by that mob violence and bloodlust, we might also see in that too, perhaps, the origins of the teamwork that have, in the end, brought human beings many of their greatest triumphs.
This is the South African dwarf chameleon, a male in full courtship costume. This, somewhat less colourful, is a female. She is not welcoming his advances. As her mood darkens, so does her skin. She's driven him away. But why? There is a reason. She's pregnant. Her home, the South African Cape, can get quite cold. So instead of laying her eggs on the ground, as most chameleons do, she retains them within her body and warms them by seeking out the sunniest places and sunbathing. Now they're ready to emerge, alive. Producing babies in the branches might seem to be a risky business, but the membrane enclosing each one will stick to a twig, if it hits one. And when at last the babies disentangle themselves, they immediately deploy their formidable chameleon grip. By the time they're properly dried out, the babies are as much at home in the branches as their mother. Out here on the sand flats, there is safe accommodation for some. A family of saddleback clownfish have found an excellent home. The tentacles of this carpet anemone can kill, but the clownfish are immune to the poison. So they can shelter from danger. In return, the fish keep the anemone clean of debris. As with all clownfish, the family is ruled by a big female. Her white face marks her out as the boss. The diminutive male has to prove his worth, so he works tirelessly, removing debris and generally keeping on top of the housework. His greatest challenge is to find a safe place where the boss can lay her eggs. But there's nothing solid here for the female to lay them on. A nearby shell could be the solution. If only he can move it to the protection of the anemone. Too heavy. Besides, it has a mind of its own. Hermit crab. But out here, twice a day, the anemone is swept by tidal currents, and they bring in new opportunities. An old plastic bottle. Perhaps this will do. Not heavy enough. Coconut shell. It looks just right, but it's a long way from home. And he can't move it by himself. So the pair now work together. A little adjustment to the anemone's tentacles in order to clear a space for it. And the shell is tucked in. The female lays. A safe nursery at last. He has proved himself worthy to father her young, and he fertilizes them. Now he will meticulously tend the eggs, keeping them clean and healthy until they hatch in 10 days' time. $60 million tons of snow now blanket this herd's territory. Pushing through deep snow is exhausting work, and the bison are now slowly starving. Just keeping warm saps huge amounts of energy. Their thick coats can insulate them down to minus 30 Celsius. It's now minus 40. The only thing that will keep them alive is buried beneath a meter of snow. And that's a problem shared with a surprising neighbor. The food the fox seeks is also deep beneath the snow. The survival of both creatures depends on getting through to the ground. For the bison, it will be a matter of brute strength. Massive neck muscles enable them to shovel 5 tons of snow a day. Their lightweight neighbor needs more precision. Bison have reached their goal, a mouthful of withered grass. And where the bison have dug, the fox now spots an opportunity. Every footstep counts. But he mustn't break through. Yet. He listens carefully to pinpoint his target. It's moving. A vole. Small, but 100 times more nutritious than a mouthful of dried grass. To get through the winter on these prairies, sometimes brain beats brawn.